Hi class and welcome to week 3. So we are going to be talking about the lab for week 3, and the first thing to mention, make sure to review the lesson tutorials. Second, make sure you review the grading rubric. This will give you a very good information as to what I'm going to be grading on. Okay, and now let's jump into the actual lab. So what I did, I downloaded the file, and this is what you're looking at. Make sure that you follow the steps provided here. The first one is to create a documentation sheet, so make sure you create that. I'm not going to do that here. And I'm going to now go to basically step 2. The first step is very simple. It's asking you to just do the asking price is just selling price divided by asking price. And that gives you a percentage, and then you can autofill everything else. Make sure you do the formatting as requested in here. I'm not gonna go over those, and that should be the first step. Okay. The next step is to basically duplicate this data and create copy. And if you guys notice, I'm not gonna bother renaming things. I'm gonna be a little bit lazy here and just move things. So this is the first one, now the second one. And in this one, we have to create a summary report, which basically is using the subtotals feature. But there are a couple of things we need to do first. The first thing that we need to do is we need to highlight all the range of this data, okay? And we need to go and say insert table. My table has headers, that's good because those are in there, and then hit OK. Okay. Once you do that, it usually goes into the design section, but if for some reason you click out and you don't see that, just click on the table and it will go back to the design table. Before we do anything, we are being requested here to sort by selling agent. And that's what we're going to be doing. So clicking here, A to Z, and that's what we have. Next, we actually have to convert these back into range. And what that means is just click on the design, click on convert range, say yes, and now we are back out of that. The reason behind that is because if you don't do this, then we're not going to be able to do the subtotaling. So when it says create a summary report showing the total asking price, basically one of the ways you could do that is by using the subtotal feature. So recommend you highlight everything, you click on subtotal, and it's asking you to create a report showing the total asking price and total selling price. So let's check those, asking price and selling price. Now, the other thing is that these we filter by agent because that's the goal. So when it says at each change in, we want each change in the agent. So make sure that you click on that. And we want the sum, so that's fine. And I think that should be it. Let's hit OK. It opens up in this way, but if you press number 1, it will give you grand total. Number 2, it gives you the breakdown by selling agent. So these are the asking prices. Keep in mind that I duplicated it as it was, so no formatting was carried over. That's why it's important for you to do that in the first step. Okay? And you should be done with this one at this point. Okay. The next one that you need to work on is actually the chart. You need to create a chart in here. It says create a column chart, shows the difference between agents. So basically you're using this information here, this information right here. Make sure you don't use the grand total to create a column chart. I'm going to do this really quick because you should know how to do that. I'm not actually even going to hit OK, but this is what it should look like. That's exactly what we're looking for. Okay? Make sure you create it and add it into a new sheet, a new tab. Okay, that's one. Now the next one you have to do is filter the data. Very simple. You duplicate this content again, okay? Create copy. I'm gonna call this sheet 3. I'm gonna move it to the end, okay? In this case, I can arrange these against the table just for the sake of repetition, okay? And all I need to do is just filter. It says, keep in mind that you have to filter properties sold and by agent. So you need to check here in the city and make sure you only have Miami And the agent, well, it says the name in there. So I'm not going to do that one either. Okay, the next one is apply conditional formatting. Make sure you follow this in here. The lab shows you how, the tutorial shows you how to do that. So make sure you do that. Basically, you only have those 3 different variables. And when you're doing that is the conditional formatting across the asking price. I'm going to show you a little bit what that will look like. The pivot table. I'm going to walk you through that one really quick. Basically, you can use what you work on it here, and that's what we're going to do really quick in here. I'm just going to select everything in here and say insert pivot table in a new worksheet, hit OK. Okay. These steps are very clear. What I just did is this right here. Okay. Now it's asking you to create the selling agent as a row. So that's what we're going to do. Selling agent as the row. We need to create the city as the column. So let's go and grab the city as the column. So this is now is going to look something like this. And then select percentage of sales, which is basically this asking price as the values. Now keep in mind this looks like this right now, but it should look like formatting like a percentage, which I'm going to do this right now so we can see that really quick. Percentage. Okay. Okay, this is the one I was looking at. Okay, so now I'm going to do something else, and what I'm going to do is you will have to refresh this again to do this. But what we're going to do right now is you need to work on the conditional formatting. Before I do that, I'm going to show you a couple of things that you need to do here. It says value field settings. Once you select in there, it's asking you actually to do the average. Okay, so you make sure that you select the average in here. And the other thing is that the formatting is asking you to do percentage. I believe that's what it's asking you. Let's see. Number format to percentage. There you go. Hit OK. Now this is what it should look like. And then you do the formatting. Okay. Now let me show you the end result. Okay. This is what your lab should look like. You have the documentation sheet. You have the sales data formatted with the formatting and everything. You have the sort data, which is the subtotling information that we did before. You have the chart that I mentioned before. You have the filter data. Remember those 3 variables, selling agent, the city, okay? And then we have the conditional formatting. It should look like this. Now, this is not about coloring. This is about using conditional formatting. I know when it's done right or wrong. And the pivot table, I basically did everything. The only thing that I didn't complete was the conditional formatting. Okay, that should be it. Let me know if you have any questions. Thank you.